Hey there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing an advanced Dungeons and Dragons magic item video on the Ring of Boccob. Before I get into this video, however, if you enjoy my content, it would really help me out if you would hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share my content on social media, and post a comment or two. Remember, I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. If you enjoy a good book, check out my author page on Amazon. My pen name is H.L. Anderson. You can find all of my books there. I like to think I write good stories that make you think. And I gotta say this, my books are unlike anyone else's. I'm weird. I wrote a 3-book science fiction Western series called Drifters. I'm working on number 4 right now. I wrote a fun book. It's just a fun story about a house in New Orleans where the monsters all hang out. It's called The House Off Farrago Road. I wrote a political fantasy called The Righteous President. And I have 2 books. It's going to be a series, but right now it's only 2. The first one is Vanguard 1. The second one is Task Force Terminus. It's futuristic science fiction. It's essentially a study of humanity from an alien perspective. I hope you enjoy them. I hope you check them out and really enjoy my books. All right, on with the video. The Ring of Boccob. The Ring of Boccob is one of the more frustrating items for any group of player characters to run up against. That's why they are one of my favorites. Any player characters running against an opponent wearing a Ring of Boccob are in for a nasty, nasty surprise. I like to run this particular item when you have player characters that are in a rut, or they have so many magic items they can't decide which one to use, because that happens in almost every campaign. If you have 5 different magic weapons and you got to figure out which one you want to use, you got too many magic weapons. Magic is supposed to be rare, and this ring will help make that happen. The Ring of Boccob can be found on page 92 of the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Unearthed Arcana. I suggest you read through the description very thoroughly before you put one in your game. If your group has a specific magic item necessary for the completion or culmination of your game, I highly recommend you do not use one of these in your game. Dollars to donuts, one idiot in your game will try and use that specific item to attack or affect the villain in question, and the item will be ruined. The Ring of Boccob has up to a 30% chance to turn magic items into normal items. At any rate, magical effects simply do not affect the wearer. This particular item is insidious and should only be used against groups who have magic items to spare and are smart enough to figure out that something is up. One kink in the hose, so to speak, is that the Ring of Boccob doesn't appear as magical, even under magical scrutiny. Furthermore, and to thoroughly confuse your players, when the ring cancels the magic of an item permanently, it ceases to function itself for from 1 to 4 hours. If you do it right, the player will think that their magic item simply lost its magic for some reason, but will not know why, especially when other players wail on the villain and their items are okay. They fare okay. They still keep their magic items. One of my groups of player characters encountered a powerful wizard who wore one of these. The 3rd player character who struck the wizard had his powerful magic sword drained of all magic. The rest of the group laughed it off and they continued the battle. Eventually, the evil wizard was killed and they looted his body. Thinking the ring was a normal but expensive ring, they sold it to pay for needed gear. Everyone was okay with it, and the game continued on. Unfortunately, the sword that was demagicked happened to be the sword necessary to stop the powerful lich later on in the game. They were not aware of this, of course, until they were assaulting the lich's citadel, and they couldn't open the door to gain entrance because that particular sword functioned as the key. Yeah. So the idiot hit the guy with the sword, and the sword lost its power, and the sword no longer functioned as the key. The Ring of Boccob can really screw up your player's day, It can also relieve the group of excess magic items, as well as making them leery of attacking villains at all, especially with their favored items. It shifts their focus and gets them thinking about other things. Check out my video called "Shift Their Focus." Yeah, this thing will get the job done. It's one of those powerful items that most player characters don't think about when they attack the bad guy, but they probably should. Anyway, it's a nasty surprise regardless. I hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good one. God bless one and all. Vanguard 1, Devo Polan, a scientific representative from a pacifist race called the Gandhiri, has come to Earth to learn the one thing that humans do better than anyone else in the galaxy: to fight. In the sequel, Task Force Terminus, Earth is at war with an alien race called the Amdola. Devo Polan's new commission in the Terran fleet exposes him to bigotry and treachery, and he comes to realize that sometimes political and military maneuvering are one and the same.